The morning sun cast long shadows across the parking lot of Sunset Studios in Los Angeles as 67-year-old William Bill Henderson pushed his janitor's cart through the main entrance. The building hummed with its usual pre-production energy. Assistants rushing with coffee, crew members hauling equipment, and the constant buzz of phones ringing in distant offices. Bill had been cleaning these halls for over 15 years, watching countless celebrities come and go. Most barely acknowledged his existence, treating him like part of the furniture. He'd grown accustomed to being invisible, finding solace in his work and the quiet pride of keeping the studio spotless. On this particular Tuesday morning, Bill noticed unusual activity on stage 7. Bright lights spilled from under the heavy doors, and he could hear the distant sound of cameras rolling. He checked his schedule. It was supposed to be a commercial shoot for a major sports brand. As he mopped the hallway outside the stage, the doors suddenly burst open. A tall, muscular figure emerged, still catching his breath from what appeared to be an intense workout scene. The man was wearing athletic gear, sweat glistening on his forehead, his distinctive smile immediately recognizable. "Terry Crews," Bill whispered to himself, pausing mid-mop. Terry was heading toward the craft services table when he noticed the elderly janitor watching him. Instead of walking past like most people would, Terry stopped and made direct eye contact. "Good. Morning, sir," Terry said with genuine warmth, extending his hand. "I don't think we've met." "I'm Terry." Bill was taken aback. In all his years at the studio, no celebrity had ever introduced themselves to him. He quickly dried his hand on his uniform and shook Terry's hand. "Bill Henderson, Mr. Crews. I've been watching your work for years. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Old Spice commercials, America's Got Talent. You're everywhere, man." Terry's face lit up. "Bill, that's awesome. And please, just call me Terry. You know, I've been coming to this studio for months and I should have introduced myself sooner. What you do here, keeping this place running smooth. That's the foundation everything else is built on." Bill felt a warmth he hadn't experienced in years. Someone was actually seeing him, acknowledging his contribution. "Been doing this for 15 years, Bill said, his voice gaining confidence. "Seen a lot of folks come through these doors." 15 years? Terry's eyebrows raised with genuine respect. "That's incredible dedication. You must have some stories." Before Bill could respond, a production assistant called out, "Terry, we need you back on set in 5. Terry held up his hand, signaling he heard, but didn't immediately leave. Instead, he turned back to Bill with sincere interest. "Bill, I mean this. I'd love to hear some of those stories sometime. Maybe we can grab coffee when I'm done here." Bill nodded, hardly believing this was happening. As Terry jogged back to the set, he called over his shoulder, "Don't go anywhere. I'll find you after we wrap." 3 hours later, Terry emerged from stage 7, still energized despite the long shoot. He found Bill in the break room, quietly eating a sandwich from a brown paper bag. "Mind if I join you?" Terry asked, grabbing a chair. "Of course not," Bill replied, though he seemed nervous about the attention. Terry settled in with his protein shake and leaned forward attentively. "So, 15 years of stories. Where do we start?" Bill chuckled, the ice slowly breaking. "Well, you want the funny ones or the crazy ones? All of them." Bill's eyes sparkled as he began sharing tales of behind-the-scenes chaos, demanding stars, and heartwarming moments he'd witnessed over the years. He told Terry about the famous action star who was terrified of spiders and once jumped on a chair, screaming when Bill was cleaning a corner. He shared stories of young actors getting their first big breaks, crying with joy in the hallways after successful auditions. "But you know what I remember most?" Bill said, his voice growing softer. "It's the small moments. Like when that young actress from the vampire movies, what's her name? She always said good morning to me. Every single day for 6 months. During filming, made me feel like I mattered." Terry listened intently, nodding and laughing at appropriate moments. But he noticed something else in Bill's stories. A sense of longing, of being on the outside looking in. Bill, can I ask you something personal? Terry said gently. Sure. Did you ever want to be in the industry? Not just working in it, but part of it? Bill's smile faded slightly. He set down his sandwich and looked out the window. You know, I came to LA 43 years ago with dreams just like everyone else. Wanted to be an actor. Did some community theater back in Detroit. Thought I had what it took. He paused, lost in memory. But life happens. Got married young, had kids to feed. Acting classes cost money we didn't have. Auditions were during work hours at my day job. Before I knew it, I was 40, then 50, then you ended up here. Terry finished gently. Don't get me wrong, Bill said quickly. I'm grateful for this job. It's steady, has good benefits. My wife Ruby, she passed 2 years ago from cancer. She always said I was living my dream in my own way. Being close to the magic even if I wasn't making it. Terry felt a knot in his stomach. Here was a man who had given up his dreams to provide for his family, who had spent decades invisible in the background of other people's success stories. And yet he spoke without bitterness, only with a quiet dignity that moved Terry deeply. Bill, Terry said, his voice thick with emotion. I need to tell you something. I came to Hollywood with nothing. Slept in my car, worked construction, got rejected more times than I can count. The only difference between you and me is timing and luck. A few different breaks, and I could have been the one cleaning these halls. Bill looked surprised. But you made it. You're living the dream. We both are, Terry said firmly, just in different ways. But that doesn't mean your story is over. The next morning, Terry arrived at the studio early, his mind racing with an idea that had kept him awake all night. He found Bill setting up his equipment in the main lobby, methodically organizing his supplies with the precision of someone who took pride in their work. Bill! Perfect timing, Terry called out, approaching with unusual excitement. Morning, Terry. You're here early today. Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about our conversation yesterday, and I have an idea. A crazy idea, but hear me out. Bill straightened up, curious about Terry's enthusiasm. You know how you mentioned wanting to act back in the day? Terry continued. Well, what if I told you there might still be a chance? Bill laughed, but not unkindly. Terry, I appreciate the thought, but I'm 67 years old. That ship sailed a long time ago. That's exactly why it's perfect. Terry's eyes were bright with possibility. Listen, I'm producing a short film. It's a passion project about blue-collar heroes, real people doing real work, and there's a role that's literally perfect for you. Bill's expression shifted from amusement to confusion. I don't understand. Terry pulled out his phone and showed Bill a script page. The character is a veteran janitor at a company who becomes an unlikely mentor to a young executive. It's a small but crucial role, maybe 10 minutes of screen time, but it drives the entire emotional core of the story. Terry, I haven't acted in decades. I wouldn't even know where to start. You've been acting your whole life, Terry said earnestly. Every day you come to work with dignity despite being overlooked. Every conversation where you make people feel comfortable. Every time you've shared wisdom from your years of experience. That's all acting is, being truthful in imagined circumstances. Bill was quiet for a long moment, processing what Terry was saying. Finally, he spoke. Why would you do this for me? You barely know me. Terry sat down on a nearby bench, gesturing for Bill to join him. Bill, success means nothing if you can't share it with people who deserve it. You've spent 15 years making this place better for everyone else. You've watched thousands of people chase their dreams while you quietly supported them from the background. It's time someone supported yours. Bill's eyes glistened. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. The shoot is next month. I'll arrange for you to work with an acting coach for a few sessions, just to get comfortable. No pressure. If you decide it's not for you, no hard feelings. But Bill... Terry placed a hand on the older man's shoulder. Some opportunities only come once, and I have a feeling you're going to be amazing. That afternoon, Bill went home, to his small apartment and sat in his favorite chair, the one where he and Ruby used to watch movies together. He pulled out an old photo from a drawer. Him at 24, dressed for a community theater production of Our Town, full of hope and possibility. "What do you think, Ruby?" he whispered to the photo. "Is it too late for an old fool to chase his dreams?" If in answer, the apartment filled with the golden light of the setting sun, and for the first time in years, Bill Henderson allowed himself to hope. 4 weeks later, Bill arrived at the soundstage at 6 a.m., his hands trembling with nerves. The acting coach Terry hired had worked with him twice weekly, and surprisingly, his buried instincts returned like muscle memory. "How are you feeling?" Terry asked, offering coffee. "Terrified and alive," Bill admitted. "Haven't felt this way in decades." The first scene exceeded all expectations. Bill's authenticity transformed written words into lived truth. His janitor character wasn't acting. It was 40 years of experience channeled into art. "Cut! Beautiful, Bill," called director Sarah. "One more take. Let the emotion build slower." With each take, Bill grew stronger. The skeptical crew became believers as they witnessed raw talent emerge from years of silence. During lunch, Bill sat quietly with Terry. "Ruby always said I was afraid to dream big, that I watched other people's magic instead of making my own." "What would she say today?" Terry asked softly. Bill's eyes filled with tears. "She'd say it's about damn time." The afternoon brought his biggest moment, a monologue about dignity and invisible dreams. Drawing from decades of being overlooked, Bill delivered words that silenced the entire crew. "People think invisible means worthless, but we're the foundation. We keep the world spinning while others take credit. Every dream that comes true was built on the backs of people like us." Sarah wiped her eyes. "That's a wrap." 2 months later, Invisible Heroes premiered at a downtown LA festival. Bill wore his best suit, sitting with studio co-workers who had become his cheering section. When his monologue played, the theater fell completely silent. As the scene ended, spontaneous applause erupted. After the screening, Bill was surrounded by festival programmers, actors, and reporters. Everyone wanted to know about the powerful performance by the unknown 67-year-old. Outside, Terry found Bill overwhelmed by the response. "I can't believe this is happening," Bill whispered. "You earned this 40 years ago," Terry replied. "The world just caught up." The story exploded on social media. Videos of Bill's performance went viral. News outlets covered the janitor-turned-actor, and Hollywood took notice. Within days, 3 productions offered him roles. 6 months later, Bill Henderson works as both janitor and actor, now by choice, not necessity. He advocates for older performers and blue-collar dreamers, proving it's never too late to become who you're meant to be. Terry's planning his next project about Hollywood's invisible heroes, with Bill as co-star and consultant. Sometimes the most powerful stories almost never get told. Sometimes dreams just wait for the right moment to bloom. And sometimes, one person's willingness to see the invisible changes everything. If this story inspired you, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories about real people making a difference. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that it's never too late to chase their dreams. What's a dream you've been putting off? Let us know in the comments below. Your story might be the next one we tell.